Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to another episode of TSF Reviews. This week we'll be discussing Loki, and not just that, we'll also be talking about
One
what
of the
kind of
best Marvel seasons ever. One of the best
yes.
Marvel seasons ever,
Oh,
honestly.
totally agree.
Um,
Apart from
like,
discussing Loki, we will also be discussing what type of ramifications this season will have, and what do we expect to see in the future.
oh, definitely. And what's more is that what I find very difficult to wrap my head around is that fans are sort of disappointed with the finale, which I can I can understand to some level because you're used to having like these big battles, courtesy of WandaVision. And hang on, well, hello, hello. Look who's here. Look who's in the house.
Surprise!
Good to see you. The biggest Loki fan there is in the world.
Yeah,
Loki's army.
what were you expecting? What did you expect?
Actually, let me say it in his voice.
Don't
What
you
did you
dare.
expect? What did you expect? But
Nice.
yeah, just to continue what I was saying, it's basically like a lot of the fans are just disappointed with the finale, which I can understand, courtesy of
Nope.
WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You had these big battles and epic moments in the end, in the finales. So of course, fans were sort of like, okay, it's third time it's going to happen the same way, and they sort of don't realize, but the big thing has already happened without any action sequences involved. I mean, the ramifications, like you said, Amar, we will feel this in the coming movies, just like how Thanos' snap affected like Agents of Shield and all the other consequent movies. You will feel that. You will actually feel the ramifications, and it's not just after, you know 4 or 5 years down the lane, whenever they have fixed all of this. We're still gonna feel that, because even in WandaVision we saw Thanos' snap, the effects that it had, and in Falcon and the Winter Soldier we saw that as well. So we know Marvel has this formula that, yeah, whatever catastrophe happened, it does have a ripple effect throughout history.
Hmm. I totally agree
Yeah, like
on.
it's not just going to be our heroes. Even the civilians, the bystanders, even they're feeling the effects. Like even if we see it like the rebels in Falcon and Winter Soldier, there were civilians who turned into those, I guess, the extremists, and yeah, so
The extremist
it's
group,
gonna be.
yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna see a lot of that in the coming years, like at least the next 10 years, the entirety of phase 4 of the MCU at least.
Yeah, thank you, Sylvie, for giving us the next phase of
Yeah.
Marvel.
Thank you, Sylvie. I don't know why people are
Don't
hating
um
on
get
her.
me started on that.
I will. I will.
this is the
I will.
place you get started. This is the place you get started.
I will get you
Okay.
started,
Okay,
Amar.
I know we'll probably have to avoid like saying swears because of censorship, but I don't care at this point. Fuck Sylvie.
No.
Everybody wants to. Trust me, Loki tried as well.
Not like
Trust me
that.
on that. Oh, you just
Look,
spoke of your inner desire,
okay,
didn't you?
there are two directions this could have gone depending on the decision, in my personal opinion. One is the decision that we're currently getting with the finale, which is okay, expanded universes, which means you have more opportunities for more MCU films because of different directions you can go with those movies. Yes, that is great. But then look at this. If Loki convinced Sylvie not to kill, they could have done this thing where they ruled over the timeline. These little expansions of the time frames happened, and these allowed MCU movies, but this also gave an opportunity for like episodic time travel buddy cop kind of TV series. They could have gone with season two, like
Yeah, that's true. That's
like
true. This could have gone that
yeah,
way too.
like Sylvie and Loki have their own back and forth going, and Mobius comes up with these cases that are happening in these different expanded time zones that are randomly popping up because despite well, I'm just gonna say it, Kang. Despite Kang saying that, oh, if you guys take over, the Kangs won't show up. Kang starts showing up, not because of a loop, but because of something else that happens. So they had to figure out ways of finding all those individual Kangs that are causing these ripples in the timeline, and stop them. And with these expansion in the timelines, these new Kangs are also creating new universes that could expand into Phase 4 or Phase 5. We could have
I
done
agree.
that instead of literally having a completely amazing season with the finale completely erasing everything.
I would say, okay, I respectfully disagree on that one
Okay,
because
Yeah,
sure.
the
I think
finale. Look, you have to understand where Sylvie is coming from. This is a
yeah,
Mhm.
like
child
this is
basically who,
completely different from what Star Lord went through when he
yeah,
knocked Thanos out. This is like years and years, I guess even millennia of rage for Sylvie. She can't just drop it just like that.
and
Mm,
what's more is that even Sylvie knows that he makes sense. Kang makes sense. Even Sylvie
But
knows that.
but they
It's just
can't
that
trust him
you
on it.
have this, yeah, if you have this cognitive dissonance happening right there. Because look, you have to understand, like Loki is the one person who is the master strategist here, and you're
Mm,
talking about his gender counterpart right there. Now, the only difference between these two guys is like one of them has had a traumatized childhood, like way more traumatized childhood. The other one
mm,
has at least had a childhood. This person
mm,
was denied their childhood actually.
mm.
So
Yeah.
in this sense, of course, she has this one central disembodied, this disfigured
Mm,
figure who she doesn't know. She just knows that this person is responsible for everything I've gone through. So now when
exactly.
that person is sitting right there and gives you the full logic that, yeah, if you kill me, you're gonna invite more trouble.
Mm,
So there's one half of her brain that says that, yeah, this is what he's saying is true and it can happen. And the other half is like, no, revenge. He's a liar. Everybody's a liar.
yeah.
Everybody who's tried to help you is a liar. And
Yeah.
then we
She's
see the
justified in that.
ramifications.
mm. No,
Yeah,
I am
because
Yeah.
not
she said
denying
it in.
her. I am not denying her justification. I know she has a proper
Mm,
justification. It's
mm,
much more justified than that of Star Lord. I can easily say that.
True.
yeah.
Because let's face it, Star Lord was thinking with something else.
Yeah. True that.
Yeah.
True
So
that.
Yeah,
the
because this
whole.
Sylvie, she's been on the run since before our Loki, Tom Hiddleston's Loki, even existed. And Tom's
Hmm.
Loki is around like 1500 years old, like according to what Thor told Rocket in
Mhm,
Infinity
yeah,
War, in
but
Endgame.
then,
Yeah.
then here's the thing.
So she's been
Then
on the run for
yeah,
more than 1500 years.
yeah, I understand that. But then here's the middle ground. Sylvie kills Kang, but they
Mhm.
still maintain the timeline themselves. That could also have been a possibility.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I guess.
Tom Hiddleston's Loki wouldn't have, you know, wanted that or would have made that happen. That's why you got the whole fight sequences
Yeah.
in the
I
same
mean,
way.
I mean, technically, if they had done it, it would have been like sort of him having a throne, and he says it. He's been saying it since Thor one that he doesn't want a throne.
See,
Yeah.
you made this little argument in the like a while ago in the chat, and I want to say this. I only have one response to this. Then why conquer Earth?
He was being
If he's
controlled by
never
Thanos.
wanted a
Remember?
throne, if he never wanted a throne, why rule Earth? Why try to rule Earth?
Uh,
No,
okay, here's the thing. In Avengers, he was being controlled by Thanos and the Mind Stone. That has already been confirmed years ago.
yeah, that's confirmed.
Yep. He was being
It
mind
wasn't actually,
controlled.
sorry, he wasn't being
It
mind
was.
controlled, but he did have an agreement with Thanos, like, like, hey,
No, it was
I'll
also
give you
quite.
Earth, you give
Yeah.
me like my own army and my own place and all of
No,
that
it
stuff.
was also a
Okay,
form of mind control because
then
that
there's
has
that
been confirmed.
factor. Then the deal still implies that he would get a throne.
Hmm.
It's kind of like it's again he clarifies it like to Mobius, and there's a very strong scene there where he admits that he doesn't like hurting people. It's
Yeah, the
just
first
what he
episode
has to
that
do.
established it.
He doesn't want power per se, but it's just his way of not looking weak, because you got to understand he's been treated in Thor 1. We see that he's been treated as this this side character, this just
Inferior
a
son, basically.
disposable, yeah, just as a disposable character. But then you realize he has more than what meets the eye.
Mm.
But talking about this, we're going to talk about the TVA because what do you guys think about the TVA itself, like the organization itself? Is it right in doing what it's doing, or was it just messed up? given that
That
we have Kang's explanation now of why exactly was the TVA there in the
Okay,
first place.
if we put the Kang explanation away, let's assume that we did not know the explanation at this point because
mm,
we found out about the TVA and we were going through all of these rules and regulations about the TVA. If we just
mm,
remove the Kang thing and think about the TVA, then
mm.
eh, like 50-50 on how they are handling
Yeah, there
things.
there are parts of it. There are parts of it
Yeah.
which don't make sense. Like, if once they take away the variant from that timeline, what happens to that timeline? I mean, there was an answer in the season that, the timeline just goes at the end of time and then sort of, into this graveyard, and Aliyah is just devouring everything, and which makes
Yeah.
sense, which is a very good recycling bin you got going there.
Mm.
But my question is, like, there has to be a lot of these things happening, and the graveyard that we see is a bit smaller, but again, we don't exactly see the scale of the world itself, so
They
Mm.
we
even
never know.
hinted at the TVA in Endgame, if you think about it.
How so?
I forgot the woman's name, the one that gives Doctor Stranger powers, but she talks about how if you take the
The ancient
stones,
one.
yeah, the
The
ancient
ancient
one.
one.
Thank you. Uh,
Yeah. She
so
just talks
she
about the timelines
yeah,
branching
she talks
off.
about a timeline branching if you take away the stones. So she says that would cause great
Yeah.
ramifications. She's talking about the timekeepers with the TVA and all of that. So then Banner came up with the solution of arranging the stones in such a way that if they take it and they bring it back, it's like it never left the timeline.
Yeah, but according to
True.
Ravonna in the very first episode, all of that was supposed to happen.
Now, see,
So they just
here's the other question now.
hand waved.
Here's the other question now, because now let's bring back Kang. Let's bring back Kang
Yeah.
into this
Hmm.
equation now. Kang says that he created a singular timeline after all of this Kang's multiversal war thing, right?
Yeah.
So how do we deter? How did he determine what aspect did he use to determine what is meant to be in the timeline and what isn't meant to be in the timeline?
I have a great answer
Um,
to that.
I'm
I have a
listening.
good answer to that, because you see, in his whole monologue, which he gives to Loki and Sylvie, he says that he has lived a million lifetimes, basically,
lifetimes.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and he's bored now. He's bored. So basically, what I'm led to believe is that he sort of has lived all of those timelines, and has seen, like, if this particular event doesn't happen, like, for example, if Thanos remains undefeated, probably another one of Kang's variants is going to come and defeat him, get the Infinity Stones, cause multiversal war or whatnot. The thing is that he said it himself, like, he has been working in a way so that the multiversal war does not happen. So it could be that one of these events was supposed to happen, like, Doctor Strange giving this time stone, arranging for Ant-Man to be there and all of that. Do you know, Doctor Strange saw 14 million outcomes. What if those outcomes were actually multiverses where,
Grown
the
by the
Avengers
TVA.
ended up, yeah, exactly. And I don't know about Kang's power. I don't know if he has influence on that. What if he made Doctor Strange see that one outcome where they do win, and it does also benefit him in the end? Like, yeah, this is what
So
happens.
actually, yeah, that actually is a
That's
What
very
that's
would
kind of difficult since I don't know.
it is a
He wouldn't
it
have
is a
like
very
influence outside.
yeah.
It's a very muddled situation because he wouldn't exactly have any influence over the Mind Stone outside the TVA dimension or the void at the end of the time dimension.
Hmm. But
Like he would
actually,
physically have to come over and interact with Doctor
yeah,
Strange while they were on Titan.
not not exactly. I mean, like, you can think of it this
Physically,
way. You can think of it this way that the Infinity
I
Stones
mean, he
have
would have had to
no.
influence the Mind Stone.
Yep.
He would have had to influence the Mind Stone somehow to make Doctor Strange see that one timeline.
Not necessarily. We can all safely assume that in the case of the timeline, the Infinity Stones don't really have an effect on whether or not you are disrupting whatever you're supposed to disrupt with the Time Stone or the Mind Stone.
Speaking of
No, 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 I'm just
speaking
about to
of
say. I'm
disrupting
just about to
time,
say
yeah,
that
we'll
there's a
get that.
lot of. I'm just about to say there's a lot of interest in what a small paperweight can do in an entire movie.
Yep. And you know what? Actually, this has led me to a theory. By the way, this has led me to a theory, because we know Doctor Strange knows that the multiverse exists pretty much. I mean,
Mm,
he has pretty much met Dormammu in that particular dimension
Dimension.
where he
Yeah.
exists, because he exists outside the multiverses, if I'm not wrong. So
Mm.
I'm of the theory that, of course, during that time where he's just looking at these 14 million outcomes, so of course he's in that particular dimension where he's just looking at one outcome after the other. That's how he's going about it. And Kang presents him with that one outcome where, not only does he win, but it
Mm.
also benefits Kang, because I know for a fact that, Kang can influence, Kang does have control over the multiverse. That's for sure. He
Mm.
said it in the season as well. So what if in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness it's revealed, like, the one outcome was actually by Kang, suggested by Kang indirectly to Doctor Strange, and that sort of benefited him.
But
Mm.
then the question would come in that how would Iron Man sacrificing his life for defeating Thanos would benefit Kang?
Oh, yeah. As Amer and Kanza would say, it's all like wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff. Uh,
Okay. Actually, this bring up
no,
brought up an
one more thing I just
yep,
thought of.
yep. Go for it.
It's related to Endgame. It's related to the fact that 2014 Thanos was killed in 2023 in Endgame. What about all the movies in between? What about that timeline?
Didn't
We
they
never
didn't
know.
they
So are
explain
we saying
this?
so no, but so does that mean that Infinity War never happened because 2014 Thanos was killed in 2014? He never got to the Infinity War bit and killing Loki and everyone. So
Uh,
what are we going on
They
now?
they explained it
That
in
whole
Endgame, which it
timeline
makes
has gone poof.
no, yeah, that no, this their logic of time travel in the point of Endgame doesn't make sense, but it does explain what happened. Like their
Yeah,
past has already happened. This is a completely different past that was meant to take the same route but took a different direction. It is a branching, but I would say the TVA did not interfere because they knew that the Avengers would take care of it.
Probably. And
Or
what's more is that I'm inclined to believe that, it's one of those outcomes. I'm still gonna maintain it, because so that I one day I can just go like, hey, I'm gonna go pick up the phone because I called it. And I'm just gonna say this, that basically Kang plotted this whole thing up. It wasn't even Doctor Strange. It was Kang who was the actual person behind Thanos' demise. I'm just gonna say that. I'm just gonna say that.
2014 Thanos
I
Yeah.
just
from
figured
Guardians of the
out.
Galaxy era.
I just realized
Yes.
the logic of time travel in Endgame is because of the TVA.
Yeah.
No,
True.
look at it
True.
this way. Look at it this way. Thanos of 2014 could come to the future of 2023, but the TVA would reset the timeline as if he never did. So the timeline would still continue even though he went to the future.
So basically, Thanos
So
gets pruned,
basically, no
but
matter how much you f up the timeline, the TVA will always reset it that it goes the initial way, even if
So
even if it's
Tony
not.
died for nothing because the TVA could have shown up any moment and ruined 2014 Thanos in 2023. Tony died for nothing. He
Apparently
died
they
so.
for
won't want to
a
do that.
glove of
They won't
paperweights.
want to do it. They won't want to do that. But yeah, we have digressed enough. We have just gone into a whole new
Okay,
segue into
okay. So let's.
predicting that.
So now
But
let's.
I do,
Yeah.
Amar, there is one
Yeah,
thing I really want your
this needs
thoughts
to be
on.
explained.
Okay. I'm
No,
listening.
no, no. That's the variant Lokis. That's the variant Lokis. And I know for a fact Samin's favorite topic is that. So, Samin, how about you? How about you start with this one? What was your thought? What were your thoughts about the variant Lokis, and
Oh, I love
what was your
them,
favorite?
especially the fact that classic Loki finally confirmed the theory
Oh,
that fans have been going on. That okay, Loki was hiding. That wasn't actually Loki that got his neck snapped. Thank you. But yeah, and
true.
Allegoki because uh, again, it's not a crocodile. It's not croaky anymore. It's Allegoki.
I'm gonna
But
call
yeah,
it
and
Loki. I
Oh,
don't care.
croaky.
No, best. Wait,
and
wait, wait, wait,
and
wait, wait,
Kid
wait, wait,
Loki.
wait.
Why?
How is it not a crocodile? Crocodiles go TikTok.
Don't yeah, but this isn't TikTok croc. It's been mentioned to be an alligator
It's
several
mentioned.
times in
It's
those.
mentioned to be an alligator, but it does. But if you pay very close attention to the points when they focus on, let's for the sake of this conversation call it Allegroki. uh, he does go like he does make the TikTok sounds from his mouth when he's like just shown on screen. Only
Hmm.
crocodiles do that. So they
I'm
so
more interested
basically
in
I
the
the
actually
fact
Lokis
don't
don't know
have
the
that much
difference.
knowledge.
I'm more interested in the fact that the director, Kate Herron, she confirmed that Frog was voiced by Chris Hemsworth, but I don't see that frog making any noises in the episode when he's
Because
shown.
it was a deleted scene. The scene was deleted. How dare they? But yeah,
Yeah,
what I'm most surprised is like the variants of Lokis that we had, like for example, President Loki and then
President
Ninja
Loki.
Loki. We had
There was the Samurai Loki too, and
Samurai Loki too,
the classic, I think the
Hmm,
mythology Loki, the one that was also shown in one of the holograms in the start in
yeah.
episode 2.
and
But
then the
then the
Hulk
one
Loki
the
or
one
Hulk
Loki
Loki.
that had my interest was the original, the one like in the original outfit.
Oh yes,
The King Loki.
like
The whole
Or maybe
rise scene, by the way. The one to get
oh
that
yeah, the
false
one that we
evidence.
see, the one that we saw on the in the trailers, right? The one, of
Yeah.
course, we never got to see in here. But there's another video by Emergency Awesomeness. I love the guy's channel. Shout out. So he was also mentioning about some of the deleted
Deleted.
scenes, and also there was another thing that the whole finale was actually changed. It was Kang was actually gonna be a post credit scene, and the whole final episode was going to be Miss Minutes sort of showing Loki and Sylvie both like an actual flashback of all of these outcomes, where for example the King Loki scene where he's rising, so he's basically on the throne of Asgard. There was a scene involving Sylvie having a family and everything, and apart from that, Loki and Sylvie actually get to fight Miss Minutes as well, which was very interesting for me to hear.
okay.
Actually,
So
And
here's the
I
thing:
would have
season two,
I would
season
have
two.
loved if Miss Minutes was the villain the whole time. In my mind, I was thinking, yeah, this would have been perfect. Like the Miss Minutes
yeah,
was the
but
mastermind behind everything.
Yeah,
what if,
the
and I
villain
know for
behind
a
the.
fact Sohaib is gonna hate me for this. Sohaib is gonna throw something at me. But what if Miss Minutes
He can't
was
throw.
Don't say
Mephisto?
it. Don't say it. You said
I
it.
did. But yeah, so
Approved.
another thing that you guys will find most interesting, how Kang was sort of demonstrating all of that stuff that he was explaining about the multiverse and meeting his counterparts and everything in those like figurines, like regenerative
Mhm.
figurines.
Yeah.
So according to Emergency Awesomeness, so the deleted scene involved Miss Minutes summoning the Avengers in that, and Loki and Sylvie having to fight them. But of course, because of COVID and all of the other stuff happening, they had to change it into something that they can manage. Even the scenes with Kang, if you notice, there are some scenes where he is not there with Loki and Sylvie. He's just monologuing right there in front of them. So there
Mhm.
is a chance that his scenes were shot later. Yeah, but Jonathan Majors was just
Maybe.
insane. Like he acted the heck out of this guy, and I really, really can't wait to see him as become the next big bad
Yeah.
of the movie. I mean,
And one
as
thing,
compared
of
to
course, we have
Thanos,
to. Yeah. One thing we have to keep in mind that this is one version of him because he's dead now. The Kang we're going to see later on in Ant Man and the Wasp in Quantum Mania, that's going to be a variant of this guy.
yeah, I
And
can imagine the
and
pressure
this one
being
wasn't as
in
evil.
shoes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this one
but I
wasn't
can
as
imagine
evil.
being in the shoes of this actor, because he has to portray several different types of personalities now. I mean,
Yeah.
all
And
the best of luck to Jonathan
he has
Majors.
to top like Thanos, who was built up at least over the a total of like 7 8 years, different movies.
True. True. And of course, the last variant we're going to talk about is none other than the classic Loki, who literally stole the show with that one last move that he made.
Yeah,
Definitely.
glorious purpose.
Glorious
It was
purpose.
glorious indeed.
Yeah. I mean, it gave me goosebumps when he's staring death down, like right into the
And
face, and
he's
he's laughing.
laughing. He's
He's
laughing in death.
laughing. And you know what's more interesting? He had the mannerisms of Tom Hiddleston's Loki completely.
Yeah.
I, for once,
Uh,
never felt like, it's a different person. Like,
mhm,
of course, face is different and everything, but
mhm.
the mannerisms and the attitude, it
No,
felt the
actually,
same.
the thing is, Tom and Richard Grant, they have worked together before, and they have joked in the past that if any potential project comes up, then they can easily play father and son. So here we
Lo
go.
and behold, lo and
Yeah.
behold. Yeah.
Okay, let's bring up some of the things I want to talk about. One thing is the TVA aspect with Loki. Loki
Mm.
joining the TVA and helping them out. I loved that idea. Like
Oh yes.
I actually love the idea of criminal dramas kind of thing. So a time traveling murder mystery kind of thing would have been a perfect direction to go, with Loki being the master, like kind of like Dexter or Numbers or and something like that, or
Or
Castle
Sherlock Holmes.
or
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes. Just
Mm.
like how someone from the outside helping the police solving crimes, like that would have been
As a
amazing.
as external consultant,
External
basically.
consultant, because let's say
Yeah.
let's say instead of going for the direction that they did, is like they're going to go with the route of particular Lokis having different agendas to uh, disrupt the timeline or kill innocent people, and stopping the TVA from ever resetting everything back to normal, and that's causing issues with like timelines branching or something, and Loki has to help them figure out to find them and neutralize them. That would have been an amazing approach, honestly, in my opinion. But what we
Mm.
got, totally good, totally amazing. I would not
Yeah.
complain, but I just would have loved that route.
Yeah.
Another thing is the
There
whole.
is still the possibility of that, because the working theme that I've read for season 1 was like a river cruise, basically. And
Mhm.
then for season 2, the working theme is architect. So let's see where they go in season 2.
Hmm.
And technically they were supposed to be both released like together. It was 12 episodes in one season, but they had to divide it, so we're getting a second season.
Now
Let's
Nice.
another thing I loved, the plot
mm,
twist about the people in the TVA.
yeah, the
That
variants.
Which was very very much like nobody saw it coming, and they were like,
Mm.
okay, so
Yeah,
these guys are variants as well. But where do
Mind
you draw the
washed.
line of pruning the variant, and where do you draw the line of employing them? I mean, like
Minor
that
offenses.
particular line needed to be defined.
Yeah,
I think I
maybe we'll
know.
find out more, because they do have to, like, I don't know, maybe if they in future they explore like bringing everyone out from the the brainwashing, because that's what our Mobius was the last thing he said he's going to
I,
go and do
I
when he
actually
left the void.
I
He's going
actually
to tell
have a
everyone.
good theory as to how they figure it out.
Hmm.
And all I gotta do is say a title of a TV show, and you guys will figure out where I'm going with this.
And that is
Legends of Tomorrow.
different franchise, but yeah, the
Different,
same
different
concept probably.
franchise for sure. But they picked variants whose branching does not majorly affect the timeline.
Yeah.
True, true.
Mhm.
No, so you're basically saying, like, those kind of variants who sort of like don't pose that much of a threat, but they sort of need to be brought in. And the TVA was like, you know what, we're just low on workforce, so just throw him in
Yeah,
accounting or throw him in
basically those
credit
people is
control or
like
something.
okay, these guys are going against the timeline, but changing this is not a major issue. In fact, it doesn't change the timeline at all. So if they were to
Mm.
disappear and we reset the timeline, nothing's going to happen anyway. We'll keep them in
Mm.
check, but we can just have this person join us and make them part of the
Mm.
TVA.
Hmm. True,
So
true.
It reminds me
Which
of
sort of
Project
begs the
Insight
question, like,
somehow.
is it
It reminds me of
Project Insight?
Project Insight somehow. Project Insight by Hydra in Winter Soldier.
Oh,
Reminds me of
that.
that somehow.
Oh, that one. Yes.
Mm.
if I was in the Black Widow review, link in the description, I would have mentioned that it's very similar. That whole Winter Soldier Project Insight thing was also how they got the widows.
Yep. Yeah.
I would make that argument.
True. But
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
another thing that, of course, I don't know, because now we're sort of going to enter like the things that sort of the show, not for the lack of a better sentence, sort of failed to communicate, sort of the things that sort of weren't okay with us, which sort of leads us to not giving it a perfect 10 out of 10. For me,
Speak for yourself.
it was, I don't know if you can call speaking for myself actually. But for me, the whole definition of TVA employees being variants, and the TVA's rules and regulation were not explained, because, and
Mm.
of course, for people like me and you who have actually read the comics, and we sort of trust that, okay, this is going somewhere. But those people who are sort of like, they want answers right there and then, for them it will be like so many gaping plot holes that just open up, like, okay, so what happened here, what happened there, what happened this. So for
Mhm.
that one. And secondly, my second gripe with that was that Mobius sort of got an, I would have liked for the finale to sort of expand a bit more on Mobius, because we went with Mobius up till here. That's the peak that his character explanation hits. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he likes jet skis. He likes
Yeah.
this. He considered Loki a friend. But that was it. We didn't get more, and we were really invested in that character. So I don't know if
And
they have
then
plans for season two.
and then they break our hearts by giving us an alternate variant Mobius, who doesn't even remember Loki
Yeah,
anymore.
who
That,
doesn't?
if anyone asks, that's
Exactly.
my villain origin story.
Uh, Actually, this brings up
Yeah.
confusions here. This brings up a confusion.
No.
Did he go to a different timeline, or did the timeline just reset? Because
Um,
he
It's
was
not
moved
exactly
either way, it's
explained.
he
either
was
way,
brought
it's
into
not the
TVA
same
headquarters
TVA
before
that.
Kang was killed.
Why? Either way, it's not the same TVA that we left behind. It's either it's been reset or it's a completely different timeline,
So the
or
timeline
universe,
branched out before killing Kang.
Yeah, it
possibly.
did, because when they were having a conversation with Kang, the
Because
timeline had
that's the
already
only way.
started to
Yeah,
branch out.
Oh right, he
yeah,
passed the
and
threshold.
Kang,
They passed the threshold. Yeah, so he got.
yeah,
Okay, never mind, never
exactly.
mind. It makes sense
And
now.
also, Kang, the Kang who's at the end of time, he is the last one remaining. But he did say that if they kill him, then all the others will start popping out like daisies. So obviously they're going to start popping out in the past, obviously.
No,
Because
it's
all of
it
them have figured out the
it's
multiverse.
Yeah.
it's Yu-Gi-Oh logic. Okay, if the person protecting the Tomb of Evil dies, the Tomb of Evil opens up and all the evil gets unleashed. It's kind of like that
Mm.
logic that they're going here. Kang was the person keeping all the timelines in check. He's dead. Also, all the timelines break free and all the Kangs come out. It's the same
Mm.
logic.
Yeah. Except it
True.
started breaking up before he got killed. The
No,
passing the
no,
threshold.
the timelines started breaking up upon a threshold which he was close to, but his death brought up
Yeah.
more.
Way more.
Yeah.
I guess it
So
was like
with that
the
being
final
said,
straw.
with that being said, all of your Marvel universes are now canon, even the ones who Marvel said weren't canon. So Agents
Agents
of
of
Shield, welcome back
Shield.
to the MCU.
Yeah.
Daredevil, welcome back, and of course
Defenders in
there's Sam
general.
Raimi's Spider-Man. Ben Affleck's Daredevil is now canon, so there's that.
Oh yeah,
If
yeah.
he
I'm
returns
pretty sure
as
Marvel would
Daredevil,
love
I'm
the
going
idea of
to
a
have
red
a
Batman.
fit. Oh, trust me on that. They will no, probably they'll bring him back as probably. I'm not sure. I'm not well versed with Marvel comics, but given that they have this old man series, like Old Man Logan, Old Man Hawkeye, so they could probably
No,
bring back as like Old Man Daredevil. Probably. I mean,
probably, and I'm just saying they could
Yeah.
probably do that approach because in one of the I'm pretty sure we all know this joke, but in one of the issues of Daredevil, he is referred to as Red Batman.
oh,
Okay. That's
and then
obscure, but
Deadpool can
okay.
definitely do that. Deadpool can definitely
And
do that
as
again.
for season two of Loki, my prediction is basically this shirt.
Very
Back to
nice.
the Future. Nice, nice. But yeah, with
Yeah.
that in mind, I think we can give our ratings now for the show.
Okay, sure. I think I'll
And
start.
Yeah, go
sure.
ahead.
Uh, I give this I give this show a 7.5 at first.
Hmm.
Only because okay, as much as I love the direction, I wish it would have done more. For like 6 episodes in the time frame we had, we could have done so much more. We didn't. But I will say this: that in the finale, Miss Minutes scared the crap out of me, and I loved that.
Oh
Yes,
yes,
it
that
did.
jump scare was there.
Oh
That
That
jump
God.
scare was
that
just
jump
The memes are
scare.
still coming.
So that it was that moment that I thought that Miss Minutes was the mastermind behind everything. And I was like, I totally knew it. I saw this coming, and I'm like, wait, no, she's not. Wait, I did not see this
Mephisto.
coming. But
oh boy.
yeah, Miss Minutes, and the fact that Miss Minutes is voiced by Tara Strong. So
The
like
Tara Strong.
the Tara Strong, and oh my god, she did an amazing job. She did an
Oh, she
absolutely
did.
amazing job as usual.
That perfect Southern accent. Like, oh my God. Like, it was
Hello.
beautiful.
And it fit Miss Minutes so perfectly. Like, oh my
It
god, it's
did.
perfect. That that
Yeah.
that
I would have jumped. I would have jumped, by the way. I would have jumped if Miss Minutes' accent changed. I would have jumped.
Yeah.
I would have freaked out more. Like, all of a sudden, if
Yeah,
she
like
like
from
like
that
switched to
southern
like a
accent to
going
British
something
like,
accent.
creepy.
oh no, I would have freaked out if it like a mix of if it went from like what Miss Minutes was in the entire time, the whole Southern accent, to a very creepy mix of Harley Quinn and Bubbles.
Oh yeah, that would have been just crazy psychopathic energy.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
I would have loved to see that,
That would have been absolutely
but
terrifying.
sadly, there's a lot of things that true, true. Sameem, what about you?
Can I skip?
No, you have to, but it's fine.
Uh,
It's fine to if
I'll
you're
I'll
giving it.
give it a very strong 9 or 9.5, only because there were
Okay.
quite a few scenes in the trailers that we didn't get to see, and I'm hoping we'll get them in the second season, especially the King Loki scenes.
Oh yeah,
And I
definitely. I
and
mean,
I would
Marvel is
like
known for
and I
sort
would
of
like
like
to see more of Allegoki and King Loki in season 2.
So wait, is it
Thank
a
you.
9 or a 9.5?
9.5.
9.5.
okay,
Okay.
fair enough.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay,
Also, thank you, Sylvie.
so thank you, Sylvie. For mine, I gave it like an 8.5, and the reason why I sort of deducted is partially because of Samin's reasoning as well. Like, there were a few scenes which I was personally looking forward to see, but we sort of didn't get to see that. Another reason for my deducting points is just like the TVA itself, because there's so many things that are left to desire, and especially Mobius's character development, which by the way was there, but we would have liked to have some sort of a backstory to him as well. Like, give us something to hang on to. Like, okay, Mobius probably is going to play a bigger role later on, and probably it's his real name, because this person is a variant. So we're not even
Yeah.
sure if Mobius is his
We don't know
actual
his
name.
middle name
Exactly.
even.
I was of the theory that probably
Mobius M. Mobius. What's that M in the center for? Is it Mephisto?
Mephisto. We should have a recording of something where we just go like Mephisto.
Now,
Uh,
I I
like
I
like
literally want to make a video
like Josh
of
going Megan.
I really want to make a video of Sohaib just say Mephisto in a very fancy way, and I just put in Blackheart from Ghost Rider doing that roar thing on screen that he did in that movie.
And we could have that as a reaction emoji for every time something related
Anytime a
with M
Mephisto
comes
Yeah.
up.
scene comes in, we'll just put that in.
We just put that in exactly. And another theory I had initially, that Mobius's actual person basically is
Mm.
actually Baldur from the Norse mythology, and in Marvel
From
Cinematic Universe,
another
he's also
variant
there.
captured from
Yeah,
Asgard.
exactly. Probably because in as a variant, he sort of ends up in Earth and just develops his life, loves jet skis. But that's one way that they can go with him. Like, he was Baldur all along, and Baldur, which is funny because Loki is the reason why Baldur dies,
Yeah.
and it will be so ironic if they do that. But yeah, so how my rating stands at an 8.5, but
ASMR.
it's a
You
good.
just triggered a song in my head, and you know which one it is.
Oh boy,
Huh? Oh no.
It
go
was
on.
Agatha all along.
All
All
along.
along.
You,
It
you
was
just said it
I was
was
going,
Agatha
was
Boulder all
Loki
all
all
along, and
along.
along?
that just played in my head. Okay, so with our
Yeah.
scores, the our rating for Loki is 8.7 out of 10.
Which is
Okay.
fair.
What
Which is
what's
fair
the
enough.
seven? What's the seven for?
Well, let's see. You gave 9.5.
Just
He gave eight
just
and a
round
half.
it off to
Yeah,
something.
I rounded
Just
up to the
round it off.
nearest decimal point.
Yeah, let's give it an 8. Let's give it a 9. I mean, the show deserves it, and we're gonna feel the repercussions of this particular decision of Sili's. We're
All
gonna
I'm going
feel
to
it
say
later
is
on.
that they need to do something very, very, very good, in my opinion, to make up for that finale.
Hmm.
Such as, such as
Well, there is What If coming in the next
in
month.
August. Yeah.
Yeah. What if
Yeah.
what if Sylvie didn't kill Kang? I would love that episode.
Oh my God. He's not going to let this slide. I mean,
I am not
he's
gonna
going to
let
be
this
going
down.
off in the group chat for
I
sure.
am.
If it makes you feel better, she only killed one variant, and we have a lot more coming.
How do you know
Yeah,
she
it's
doesn't kill
that,
them all
you
while
know, that
sitting on that throne of
Simpsons.
hers?
Yeah, that
Mhm.
Simpsons meme where he just throws out Bart, and then there's another Bart coming from behind or something.
No, no, look,
That
look, look,
one.
look, 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 look.
I sent
Now,
that. I sent that in.
yeah, now it's like Mo
Yeah.
just
Uh-huh.
kicking that guy out. Like but Mo is Sylvie, and I forgot the guy's name, but he is Kang. Throws Kang out, Kang in the back.
There's a lot more behind.
There's a
Yeah.
lot. There's a
Yeah.
lot more Kangs. But yeah.
Yep.
Uh, good
Okay, so
season. We're gonna just
that
wait for
is
more.
It
these
was
are our
enjoyable.
thoughts. These are,
Basically, we got to see what Loki can do when he's not overshadowed by Thor. He's doing his own
And his
thing.
daggers.
so, but when he's not being shadowed by Thor,
And
he's
all of
being
his powers
shadowed
that we
by
didn't get to see before.
himself.
No one's complaining.
I'm not gonna comment on that. I'm just gonna drink my peach tea.
Okay, I have many other jokes, but
No one's complaining.
I have many other jokes, but that's for later. These are our thoughts of the Loki series. Let us know what you guys thought. Let us know in the comments. What other shows do you think are similar to Loki that could have had a different approach, or do you guys think that Sylvie made a mistake? Do let us know. In the meantime, thank you for joining in with us in the episode. Thank you for subscribing. Be sure to
Thank you
like,
guys. Take
comment,
care.
Thank
and
you.
take care.
Oh.
See ya.